Hey guys, welcome to episode number 9 of Camille over Chai, a show about business, life, and everything else in between, discussed all over a beautiful cup of chai. I am your host, Camille Telicia, and on today's episode, we are going to be talking about asking for help and being willing to ask for help and being willing to allow and accept help and support. So grab your cup of chai and join me back here so we can get this thing started. Hey guys, welcome back to Camille over Chai. I am your host, business and transformation coach, Camille Telicia. And as I said before, today we are going to be talking all about support and help and asking for it and being willing to accept it. And I'm really excited about this topic. I say that every week. I'm always excited about the topics, honestly. This one actually kind of comes from a life example, personally in my life, and then also with business as well. So I have like twofold. So clearly this is something that needed to be discussed today on the show. So before we get into it, we always have to talk about our chai of the day. However, I am cheating today because, as you see, again, I'm filming in my beautiful co-working space with the white backdrop. Just based on my schedule so far this week, I've needed to record out of here versus at home, just while I was doing work and XYZ. So with that being said, I didn't want to do another Starbucks chai, so I decided to just do another kind of tea. And so today I'm just drinking a green tea, and it is from the Bright Tea Co. And you see here we have this machine. It's not a Keurig, clearly, but it's one of those like instant tea thingies. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, from one of those like instant drink things where you put the little packet in, and so it has coffee, cappuccino, tea, lattes, blah, blah, blah. And so I chose a green tea today, and I'm usually not a big fan of green teas, but this one is actually pretty good with just a touch of sugar for a little bit of sweet. It's not too harsh, it's not too bitter, and it has a nice little taste to it. So I am going to see if they have like a regular Bright Tea Co. thing. Okay, sorry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if Bright Tea Co. does their green teas in regular individual use packets. And if I can find that, then I will put that in the kit on kit.com. And no, I still don't have a short link for the kit. So the website, again, is kit.com/Camille Telicia /Camille over chai, where you can shop my chais, shop my mugs when I have a nice one. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here, I'm like, the last few episodes I've not had a new chai or a new mug. I am really letting y'all down a little bit, but never fear, we're gonna get it back together. I got a couple interviews that I am in the works of scheduling in the next few weeks, and then going into January. So we'll be back. Excuse me. So we'll be back in more regular swing with some mugs and some actual chai teas for you guys very soon. But in the meantime, we still have a tea and we have a paper cup. You can find these at probably Sam's Club, Kroger's, the, travel white cups. Nothing special. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead. Sorry, having a good time. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Actually, before we do that, I'd want to thank everybody who watched last week's episode with my sister or listened on the podcast and wrote a comment or shared it. I'm so glad that you guys were amused by our sisterly relationship and my sister in general. I think she is super dope. She's one of my favorite people. I tell her that all the time, and so I am really happy that she chose to join me on the show. And as always, if you like this, I'm going to say this at the beginning instead of the end. If you have been enjoying Camille Over Chai, please share the videos, comment so that other people will see them on the internet, on the interwebs. If you are listening to this podcast, take some time and leave a review, especially on iTunes. It allows people to find us. Find me. The podcast is also available, like I have it on my phone on the Castbox app, and I think you can leave comments on that as well. Or, just tweet it out, share it out, whatever. Use the hashtag Camille Over Chai. If you did go to Starbucks and get that apple chai drink, please let me know. Like, I really want to know what y'all think about it. Or if you already did your own version of apple chai latte or whatever we're calling it at Starbucks before, and if the Starbucks barista was upset with you. I want to know all of that. So yeah, please let me know. Engage, interact, share, comment, subscribe, review, whatever. Just interact with the video. Give me a little like, a little love, whatever, thumbs up. Let me know you're watching, and let me know what else you want to hear about, what you want to talk about. At some point, I would love to do an episode where obviously it'd be previously filmed, but we can have some of you viewers or listeners maybe Skype in or Zoom in or call in, and we can have a live discourse so that people can hear and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So yeah, but in order to do that and get to that point, we got to have engagement. So that is that. All right. Now we can get into the topic. So again, we are talking about asking for help and receiving help, allowing people to help you. And the reason why this came up for me as a topic, because I was really sitting there, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about today. To be very honest, I was like, I know I needed to film an episode. I wanted to put something out, and I just didn't feel strongly about any of the ideas that I had. So this came about because I started kind of just reflecting on what I'm doing right now and what's going on in my household. And so some of you know, most of you know if you listen to the show, that I am raising my 14-year-old brother. And so he is in high school. He's a freshman in high school, and he is having some trouble with his math class. He is in gifted geometry. And let's just say that the grade that he brought home, I was less than pleased with. And so, I'm asking him, like, what is the problem? Why are you coming home with this grade? And his answers, because there were a couple, were number one, that he didn't feel like his teacher was approachable, which I said, I don't give a damn. It's her job to assist you. Go ask her for help, whether you think she is approachable or not. And then also he was saying, like, well, I think I need a tutor. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to know that you need a tutor if you've never even asked me for help here in the house? Like, you've never come to me and said, hey, I have this homework and I need some help with it. And so that was the first thing, and then he kind of was like, oh, well, you're right, blah, blah, blah. And so it's just like, why, to me, I just started asking, like, why is it so difficult? This is what I was thinking to myself. Why is it so difficult for him to ask for help? Obviously, he's a teenager, and teenagers have a whole other set of problems. So, like, that's that. But it stuck in my head. The question was in my head. And then what I'm doing in my business right now, I am planning a networking event in January. And I'm actually really excited about it because I have this idea to do it different. It's called Network and Chill. If you are in Atlanta and you're watching this, it's on January 11th. You can go to networkandchillatl.com to buy your tickets, which will just forward you to an Eventbrite page, but that is easier to go to than Eventbrite / blah, 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 blah. So networkandchillatl.com, and that's the word and. But anyway, so I'm planning this event, and I have this whole idea and concept for how I can help facilitate conversations in a casual sort of environment that allows people to really connect with each other and not feel like it's just a business card passing out session or an awkward, hey, how are you? My name is so-and-so. What do you do? This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. Because, as an entrepreneur, networking is something that, I have to do. And I can do it. Like, I'm social, I can talk to people, but I don't always have a great time because it seems like there are really just people there who feel like the Networking is about shaking hands, passing out business cards, asking people what they do, pretending to listen, telling them what you do, and getting an email address so that you can then email them and say, hey, it was nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And now do you want to have a meeting? But it's like, I don't even know if I really like you. Like, I don't even know if I think you're good at your business, or if I feel like you're relatable, or if I even want to give you my business, because, we didn't talk about anything real. And that's the way relationships, are formed. Even if it is just a business relationship, there has to be more of a conversation where you get to know the person than just, here's my business card, this is what I do. And I didn't even mean to get into my whole event, but so that's what I'm trying to do. And within doing that, there are different pieces and there are different parts and things that have to come together. And honestly, they're not things that I can't make it all happen myself, especially not on the day of the event. And so I have been sitting here. I'm very much a D.I.Y. person, or like a D.I.A.Y, like do it all yourself. Like, I feel like I am skilled, I am talented, I am smart, I am capable, and I can get everything done because I am Wonder Woman. Hear me roar. And the reality is that is not true when you are hosting, when you're trying to put together an event. It's not true for most things, really, but most big projects, like, you need support, you need assistance, you need help. And I really had to check myself because I was trying to plan an event and figure out how I can make all of the moving parts move by myself. And finally, I had to just acknowledge that in order to make this event a success, I'm going to need support, not just on the day of the event, but beforehand. I'm going to need financial support with getting sponsors. I'm going to need planning support with maybe a strategy team, or just somebody to run my ideas by to make sure that they're actually good and not just sound good in my head. And so I'm literally right now, as I'm filming this, in the process of coming to grips with the fact that I'm going to need more support than just D.I.A.Y volunteers, which is about the only thing that at this point I've acquiesced and said, okay, I know I'm going to need some volunteers. So I've put out a few volunteer calls already. But that is just the context and the background for why we are talking about this today. And so in thinking about it, as I've said in previous episodes and videos, is that if I'm experiencing an issue, there's a solid chance that there are other people out there like me who are experiencing this similar challenge, facing this similar block, limitation on whatever it is that they're doing. Whether it is asking for help with your math homework or with something that you find challenging, or finally admitting and acknowledging that you need help to make your big dream a reality. And so I figured that it would be fun to talk about today because, clearly this is us. If you're watching this, if you listen to any of that little story, especially if you are a D.I.A.Y-er like myself, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're a person who is self-sufficient, very self-sufficient. You're independent. Usually do a lot of things for yourself. You figure things out. Like, I know for me, when I first started my business, I taught myself how to do Photoshop, how to create a website on Wix. I upped my HTML skills, just all these little things that, yes, I could pay somebody to do, but I'm like, I'm smart. Just like I said, I'm smart and I'm capable, so I'm gonna figure out how to do it myself because I can do all things. Excuse me. And so what I had to come to terms with, and I've been able to come to terms with this in previous scenarios, and now I am, like I said, coming to terms with it in this scenario, is that asking for help right now for this, or even for anything, honestly, just anything in life in general, when you finally get to that point where you can say, okay, I know I need some assistance, it's like being okay with asking for help doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you are helpless. It doesn't mean that you are incapable or incompetent. It doesn't, it's not a bad thing. Sorry. It's not a bad thing to ask for help. It's not a bad thing to admit that you need some support from people. It's not a bad thing to let people know that you are not Superwoman 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, it's okay. And in fact, when I was putting my notes together for the show and like really thinking about, okay, so what does it mean when we ask for help? Like, what does that actually say about us? And what I came up with is that when we allow ourselves to ask for help or ask for support, I think it really means that we're actually strong and that we're smart. Because in asking for the help, we had to take a moment to get clear. And we had to get clear on our current state of affairs, our current situation. So that means that we are aware of what's going on and we are present and we're not living in la la land. So number one, you are clear. You're clear on what you need. So not only are you able to see, okay, this is the picture and I'm seeing it in its actuality, but now I can also see where my gaps are. I can see what I do need. And at the same time, I can also see what I have. So I can see that I have done this and I have this and I can do that and I can make this work and I can do that. But I'm still gonna need this part, this part, this part, this part, and this part to be filled in order for my picture to be complete. And I think it also means that I, you're gonna laugh about that. I think it means that in asking for help that you are humble, because only a proud person will see that they are in quicksand. No, quicksand, I don't really know the whole mechanics of quicksand, so I'm not going to use that metaphor. But only a proud person would be drowning and see see somebody has a flotation device and not ask them to throw them the flotation device so that they can stop drowning. Only a proud person would do that. Like if you're humble, you know that you are in need and you see that somebody can help you or you think they may be able to help you, you ask for the help. And so again, that is what makes you strong and it makes you smart and humble. And the reason, I'm looking at my notes a little bit, I'm cheating, so sorry guys. The reason that I chose to use the word strong is because I was reminded of a participant in one of the virtual workshops that I did over the summer. And she was talking about, she has oh my gosh, an autoimmune disease that sometimes weakens her. I can't remember what she has, so I don't want to say it and lie. But basically, it was a little bit debilitating at times, and it shuts her down. And she is one of those D.I.A.Yers like myself, who does it all, head of household, I think she's a mom and everybody relies on her and she is everyone's rock. And she said that she felt like she was too strong to actually ask for help and allow people to help her. And so that's why I kind of giggled when I was saying that you are strong and smart in being able to ask for help, because I was thinking of her. Because I was thinking of her, and it's just the irony almost of feeling like you're too strong for help. And that I think that in thinking that, and not in judging her, like we had a conversation around that, she cleared that up. So this is not a condemnation of her. But in thinking that you're too strong to be able to allow people to help you, I think you are really being more weak, because you have these needs, you have these holes, you have these gaps, and you are choosing not to utilize the resources around you to fill them in and to get that support that you need. And so if there's any of you out there who are also thinking like, I am too strong, like I can't allow the people that always lean on me to support me, I would offer to you that you are now robbing them of their ability to give back to you. So in life, and this is becoming a whole different conversation, but in life, there's generosity and reciprocity cycle, and it's in balance when both are happening. So if you are used to being a caregiver and taking care of everybody, you're being generous, all this generosity, but where is the reciprocity for you? And so if you're just generous, and there's no reciprocity, then you, number one, either people are just robbing you and you are out of balance, or you are preventing people from being able to reciprocate. And so you are still out of balance. Everything is out of balance. And so that's when you start feeling bitter, you start feeling resentful, you start feeling too strong to allow people to help you. And so you want to make sure you're always in balance. And so there is no such thing as being too strong to ask for help or to allow people to help you. That's that. That's all I really have to say about that. Point blank, period. And so then the other side of this conversation, now that that was a good segue into it, is not only do you need to ask for help, but you need to be willing to receive the help once people offer it to you. So if somebody else sees that you are in need and they offer you help, take it. Be humble, be smart, be clear, and be willing to accept and receive that help as well. Because again, it's a generosity reciprocity cycle. So 9 times out of 10, if somebody is offering to give you something, it's probably in reciprocity for something you've given to them at one point or the other. And so allow them to do that. Allow yourself to stay in balance. Allow yourself to be smart. Allow yourself to get the help that you need so that you can make whatever it is you're trying to make happen. Because as soon as my brother finally admitted that he needs help and actually asked for the help, he came, we went over some of the assignments, and when I tell you, he had a worksheet and he did most of it, and then there were maybe like 6 problems that he had left that he hadn't yet completed, and he was like, I don't understand these, can you help me? And we did 2 of them together, and before we even finished the first one, this boy was spitting out theorems and whatever the other things are for geometry, the laws or whatever, so you can know how to do the measurements and the angles, and I'm sitting there like, okay. And by the third one, he was like, I'm gonna do the rest myself and just let you check them, because really he had all the skills. I just helped plug in like 2 of the holes that he had, and really they weren't even holes, it was just a perspective shift. It was a different way of figuring out the problem or looking at the problem. And he had everything else. So it's like, I don't know if he was afraid of appearing stupid or dumb in asking for the help and not wanting to ask for the help. But the reality is that he had almost all of the tools. Maybe he had all the tools and he just didn't know how to use a couple of them. And so I was able to fill in that gap for him. And it's just that simple. And I'm hoping that it's just that simple with this event as well. But I will give you an update on that as it comes to fruition. So the last thing that I want to leave you guys with are just a couple of tips on asking for help and, being comfortable asking for help. And the first thing is that you need to learn how to ask for help from a powerful place where you aren't feeling incompetent, you aren't feeling like you are unable to do things, or that you are weak or dumb or whatever, so you want to make sure that you're doing it from a powerful place. And so I would say the first thing is that you have to acknowledge your current state. Acknowledge where you are. It shows that you are aware, as we said before, and just acknowledge, okay, here are my strengths, here are my weaknesses, here are the gaps, like whatever it is. So acknowledge that, because you gotta be in reality. You can't be living in falsehood. You can't ask for things that you don't know that you need. So you have to acknowledge the situation, and you don't want to ask for the wrong things because you don't know what the heck you need and you're just making stuff up on the fly. Oh, okay. So the lights just went out. They're on a timer. Okay, so I was saying you don't want to be asking for the wrong things because you didn't do a full scope and assessment of what your current situation is and what you currently need. Another way that you can ask from a place of power or feeling powerful or empowered when you are asking for help is by offering some sort of immediate reciprocity. Maybe not, okay, let me not say immediate reciprocity as in you're going to pay them back right away, but maybe as you are asking for the help, you can immediately offer future reciprocity. That way you feel like you are in balance with the cycle, right? With the way things need to work. So you can, depending on what type of help it is, it could be that you compensate them financially. You can compensate them in a barter, with in-kind services, with a meal, a thank you card, there's so many ways, depending on the type of help that you need, that you can reciprocate the help and support and the generosity of the person or the people who are helping you. And by choosing to also offer the reciprocity while you are asking, I think it helps take a little bit of that I'm helpless, I'm weak feeling away from asking for that help. So if that is something that will make you feel better, just play around with it in your head, and if you need somebody to, I'll give you an example, okay? A long time ago, my car got towed in Atlanta, and I needed a ride to go pick it up. And so one of my girlfriends, she had to come from her house out in the suburbs, pick me up from where I was, take me over to the tow yard, which was in the city or wherever it was. The impound lot, I don't know what it's called. And so I was like, hey, listen, I'm about, I'm going to take you to lunch. I'm going to pay your gas. I'm going to take you to lunch. So that way it felt less like I was being a burden on her when I was asking her for the help, it's just something, it could be something even that small, like, hey, if you can do this for me, I will pay for your gas and I will compensate you for your time by giving you a free meal and a free hairstyle or something, if that's something you do. So that is another way. Also, just in general, I want to offer that as you are asking for help or as you're getting yourself to ask for help, always remember to be gracious. We already talked about being humble. Just be gracious and be open-hearted. And when I say being open-hearted, you're thinking, okay, I'm asking for help. Why does my heart need to be open? But your heart needs to be open so that you are allowing for that connection, because when your heart is open, it makes it easier for their heart, whomever you're asking, for their heart to also be open, and they may be more willing and inclined to help you. They may be inclined to go more above and beyond and really, really help you out. You never know, but you just want to do it with an open heart. That way you're coming with the best of intentions, and hopefully you're receiving their best intentions as well. And then lastly, this is just something to note. When you're doing all those tips I just gave, or whatever you want to call them, I think that it is a form of being vulnerable. And I want to note, vulnerability, I think, is a word that sometimes has a weaker vibe, a weaker connotation to it, where it's like, you think, oh, if you're being vulnerable, you're being weak, like, oh, people need to help you and you're just, oh, so sad. But I don't think that is really the case with vulnerability. I think being able to ask for what you need, acknowledge what you need, and powerfully reciprocate, offer immediate reciprocation, open your heart up, allow people to see you authentically. You're being authentic by asking for this help and saying, okay, this is where I am, these are my holes, this is what I can bring to the table, this is what I cannot. that's actually, like I said before, it's strong. Like that is a form of strength because not everyone can do that. So it sets you apart, number one, and I mean, it shows that you are willing to do things differently and be different, and also that you are really committed to making whatever it is that you are trying to make happen. So be vulnerable, because you are being at your strongest when you are in this space of powerfully asking for people to help you and actually allowing them to do so. Yeah, that's all I got. So I was trying to keep it short and sweet, but I don't think this is as short as I thought it was going to be, which is probably a good thing. That means hopefully that there was some great context. And so to close it out, I do want to just remind you guys, please comment, share, like, review, engage, interact, post it places, post this video, share this podcast, however you are getting this Camille Over Chai content. Please allow other people to also receive it as well. Tag your friends who you think may need to hear this message today. Like we are trying to get the word out. So we, as in me, I'm using the royal we when I say we are trying to get the word out. Anyways, guys, I am Camille Telicia. If you would like to know more about me or how you can work with me, I am accepting coaching clients now. And for 2018, I actually have a coaching program that is kicking off in January. You can go to my website, CamilleTelicia.com, and just check it out. There's ways that you can contact me there, or you can send me a message on Facebook if you are connected to me on Facebook, if you like my page on Facebook. Instagram, you can slide into my DMs and send me a message as well. I am all about helping people transform their shit. So if you got some shit that you're ready to let go in 2018, hit me up. Like, why not? You're already here watching the video. Hello. Okay, so CamilleTelicia.com, you can find all my stuff there. If you are interested in the networking event and you are in Atlanta or the surrounding areas, networkandchillatl.com. You can go there. That event is on Thursday, January 11th, 2018. My book is for sale on Amazon, Shut the Stuff Up. You can go there and cop that. Right now it's still $9.99. The price is going to be going up very soon. The chais, if you want to shop my chais, shop my mugs, shop my teas, because I can't necessarily say chais anymore since I now got this green tea in the mix. You can go to kit.com/Camille Telicia /Camille-over-chai. Hopefully before 2018, I'll have a shortened link for you and I'll get my life together. Anything else? I think that's all the housekeeping I've got. Thank you guys as always for your time, for paying attention, for watching this video, for being here, for your support, for your likes, for your loves, for your shares. Maybe soon I'll start shouting out people that share it so people will be more inclined to share and like. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, I don't have a closing line. See y'all later.